Hi guys, it's me Talia with the Sassy Nation, and in today's video, today's live, thank you for joining. I want to talk to you about how to get over excuses and get shit done. Hey, Made in Insanity, thanks for joining. So this is a topic that has been on my mind, you guys, since last weekend. And I was like, damn, like it just won't let me go. So I feel like somebody maybe needs to hear this. So here it goes. This message is for you because it just would not back up off of me. So last weekend, I watched the documentary, what was it called? A Brief History of Time. And it's about the life of Stephen Hawkins. And if you don't know who that is, you need to step your science game up, okay? Stephen Hawkins, yes, Stephen Hawkins was a cosmologist and a physicist, and just one of the great scientists and great thinkers and great minds of our generation. And he passed a couple of years ago, but this was a movie that was made like back in the 90s about his life. It was so good. It left such an impression on me simply because this man had every fucking excuse to like not be great and step into his purpose. Like he was already like super brilliant, super smart, from a young age, but really early on in adulthood, he ended up being diagnosed with Lou Gehrig's disease, which is also called ALS. And the doctors basically gave him like 2 years to live. And this is when he was like a young man. And so, yeah, he could have just sat back and been like, I'm going to just rest on my laurels. I've accomplished a lot in my short, young life because he was, brilliant even as a young person. But no, like, dude kept pressing forward. Like, we're talking about a man who eventually lost all of his gross motor functioning, all of his fine motor skills. He lost the ability to be able to talk, yet and still, he left us with this huge canon of research and work. Like, his life's work is just so tremendous that for him to have been able to accomplish like all of those things, like even in spite of the fact that he had these physical limitations, is just astounding. It's mind-blowing to me. And so it got me to thinking like, well, how can we get over our excuses and like really get shit done? And so one of the first things that came to mind for me, there's three things actually. And the first thing is we have to start at a place where we can like self-reflect on our excuses, and figure out like what is the subconscious programming that's running in the back of our minds that allows us to do something or not do something. Are we going to procrastinate or are we going to take action? Like once you figure out what that programming is, you can basically go in there and reprogram it for your success and for your benefit. And that's a lot of the work that I do with my one-on-one clients when we do coaching, right? Is we're digging into the subconscious mind. We're figuring out like what those blockages are. Hey, Mike Santos, thanks for tuning in. We're addressing them and we're getting past those things, okay? So that's number one. Self-reflect on your excuses, but also don't get stuck in this self-critical mode. Like that's not what this is about. Like criticizing yourself or being hard on yourself. Like, oh, I didn't do such and such. I suck. I'm trash. Like, no, we're not doing the negative self-talk. That's not what this self-reflection is about. It is about just taking inventory, of our thoughts and our thought processes and how we can alter them so that we can get to our goals and step into our purpose. Okay. So that's tip number one. Tip number two is surround yourself with people who are high vibe and who challenge you and are going to help to propel you like to the next level. It reminds me again of this Stephen Hawkins documentary. Like in spite of the fact that he had, this degenerative disease, he was only given 2 years to live. He met a woman and fell in love. Okay. Which goes to show there is somebody but everybody out here, right? He met this woman. He falls in love with her. She knows that he's very ill. And he says to himself, like, I want to marry her, so I got to get my shit together. Like, he was in a depressed state, at the time, kind of when they met. And he was like, I want to marry this woman, so that means I got to go to work. I got to be able to support my wife and my family. And so she really was instrumental in helping to like keep him not just motivated, but like continuing to challenge him and push him forward. And this is why it's so important to have people, accountability partners, people in your life who are going to help you move the needle, who are going to hold you accountable to doing the things that you say that it is that you're going to do. There was this funny story in the documentary about how like his wife, they were having a party or something at their house, and Steven apparently was like in the corner, like slumped over in his wheelchair, basically being antisocial kind of. She comes over to him and she's like, Steven, I know you're probably over here thinking about astrophysics and some theory of yours, but your friends don't know that. You're sitting over here in the corner looking sad with your head down. Like, sit up and go talk to your friends. You know what I'm saying? Like, she just was a phenomenal support to him. And I think that's another something for us to consider, is like, who are the people that we have in our lives and how are they adding value? You want to be able to surround yourself with high vibe people. So that's my second tip. My third tip is to practice daily self-development hygiene. Now, what does that mean? Basically, all of the processes, rituals, and things that you do. Hi, D. Sanders. Thanks for joining. That you do on a day-to-day basis or weekly basis or however often you do it, like meditation, exercise, like whatever your thing is, like in order for it to be effective, you have to be consistent with it. Having good personal development, hygiene, it's a day-to-day thing. It's like taking a shower. You know what I mean? You can't meditate on Sunday and think that that's going to last you for the whole week. Like, that's not how that works. Okay. So you have to make sure that you have rituals and habits in place that are going to keep you in a state of being high vibe and feeling high vibe and going after your goals. Okay. So that's pretty much it. I think those are the 3 tips that I have for you about how to get over your excuses and get shit done. And of course, if you need help with any of the things that I just talked about, whether that's, figuring out, how to get over negative subconscious programming so that you can up level and move the needle forward in your life and, just get on that path to more fulfillment and walking in your purpose in life. That's the work that I do. That's the work that I help my clients do. And so yeah, you can always reach out to me. I have free one-on-one slots available. You can click the link in my bio to check that out. And if you have any questions, of course, you can always slide in the DMs or, I can answer them now on live. So let me know. And have you guys ever struggled with that, not being able to get over your excuses so that you can actually get the things that you need to get done. It's a common problem. It really is. And I told this story to one of my friends who is also a client, because that's something that they kind of struggle with, taking action, and yeah, it was a good metaphor, and it really penetrated. He actually hit me up earlier today and was saying that, he was reflecting on doing self-reflection on the conversation that we had last week when I first watched the documentary, and then we had our little talk, and I was just, sharing with him like how crazy Stephen Hawking's story is and about how he was able to achieve in spite of like all these obstacles that were up against him. We all have things, we all have obstacles, some of which may seem insurmountable, but they're really not. Like, once you shift your mindset and become determined that you're going to do a thing, you can do the thing. You know what I mean? So yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. That's all I wanted to share with you all tonight. So let me know if you have questions. You can send me a message through DMs if you're watching on the replay. Thank you so much. I appreciate you all tuning in, and I will see you all on the next video. Bye, guys.